What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Tuesday, July 28th. Now in today's video, I want to talk about one thing specifically, and that is regarding Coinbase. Now at the end of this video, I want to give you a Coinbase update. Because as you know, if you've seen my recent post on Twitter, we are looking for market makers for a Coinbase listing. I'll give you a little bit more details at the end of the video. But with that said, we just saw that Bitcoin took another dump today. But DOG still remains at a 60 million market cap level. And this is to no surprise, we've been talking about this. But I also want to pay attention to other meme coins over the past 7 days. How have they been performing? You'd be quite shocked that DOG's actually done quite well over those past 7 days compared to those other meme coins. Then we're going to be looking to a chart in terms of ratio, upside ratio for DOG. So if you compare DOG in runes to Bitcoin, the amount of growth and scale and return and gains are much higher than those on Solana and Ethereum. This is meme coins comparable to their native chain. So I want to talk about that. We need to get into these details, and we also will talk about Coinbase at the very end of the video. So let's get right into it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So as I mentioned before, DOG is still at a 60 million market cap level. Now notice that the volume was very low. It's around 735,000 US dollars. That's on purpose. I mean, it's not there because there's lacking liquidity. It's because the market makers on these other exchanges don't want you to pay attention to DOG. They also don't want you to pay attention to other cryptocurrencies. That's why there's low trading volume everywhere, not just DOG. But with that said, these market makers that work with these exchanges, either they are assigned market makers or they are given market makers, either one, right? They can determine the amount of liquidity registered on file that will then determine the price of DOG on CoinMarketCap and on CoinGecko. With that said, if we look at the 50-day moving average line, you can see that DOG goes right above and below it. But we still see a huge curvature of the 200-day moving line going down. This is a good sign. Let's not forget, if you look at the mind share within DOG, it's up 75% today. That means people are still thinking about, tweeting about, mentioning DOG. Now let's look into Bitcoin's price. You can see that Bitcoin, like I said, took a massive dip. Now what happens when Bitcoin goes down 1.84%? Everything is going to go down with it. Now I want to share with you the meme coin sector. This is the meme coin sector, and I want you to pay attention to not just the 24 hours, I want you to pay attention to the past 7 days. So you can see that Dogecoin's down almost close to 3.6%, Pepe, same thing, 3%. You can see that official Trump token down 7.4, SPX down 6.5, that's pretty bad. We also have Floki down 1.77. Then we have like BNB coins that are scams, they're down like 26%. DOG Hat down 2.5. Now let's scroll down to where DOG Bitcoin is. It's only down 0.41% over the past 7 days. Because again, 60 million market cap has been the stronghold because of the free and fair airdrop. When there's a free and fair airdrop and there's very little supply that's on free float, it's really hard for DOG to go up or down. It's stuck at around 60 million. And remember, the liquidity on all the order books on these exchanges is super thin. So you've seen multiple times when somebody spends around like $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, DOG's market cap goes up multi-millions of dollars. That's just kind of how the whole free float works. When you remove the free float, then there's a supply shock. When there's a supply shock, it reflects very positively to the DOG price. But you'll notice every single time that we see a pump in DOG's price, there's also a large candle wick. You can see it right over there, right over here, 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 and even over here. See, these candle wicks, the reason they're wicks and not candles is because there are limit sell orders either on Kraken or other exchanges. So there's a lot of arbitration going on. And that's okay. That's completely normal. That's just basically how market makers make their money. That's how traders make their money. And this just goes to show like DOG wants to go back up multiple times. And whenever you stop something from going up and it's coiling, then there's an explosion at some certain point. But let's also talk about Rune's transactions. So this was just shared yesterday. So apparently 7 out of every 10 Bitcoin transactions has been contributed and powered by the Runes protocol. So just on the 26th, just 2 days ago, we saw that Runes transactions consumed and contributed 71.4% compared to the other transactions. We're talking about monetary transactions, people sending, receiving Bitcoin. But what have you noticed ever since April of 2024 up until today? The amount of Bitcoin transactions is very minimal. Runes transactions not only has come back in full force, but is now making headlines across all of crypto Twitter. I mean, if it's censorship wars, if it's Bitcoin Core, if it's spam, if it's Ordinals, it doesn't matter. Runes is always at the forefront of those conversations. So when you think about runes are the fungible tokens on Bitcoin. The reason we talk about that is because if you look at the untouched ratio, all runes by themselves is around like $130 million. It's not that much. Compare that to, say, for instance, Ethereum meme coins. They roughly have around $4.8 billion in total in market cap. And then when you look at Solana has a meme coin total market cap of $2.93 billion, right? So if you think of that, these are in the billions. This is only in the 130 million. So there's much more upside. Dog is a flagship rune of all the runes. It's going to be the leading rune that people are going to look to. It's because there's a strong community, great foundation, free and fair fundamentals, and also it's a dog in a hoodie. Dog themed meme coins always do the best in every single chain. Now, when you look to the right side, look how oversaturated Solana meme coins are and Ethereum meme coins are. Ethereum meme coins make up around 2% of the native chain's market cap. So basically, Ethereum is roughly around $233 billion at the time of this recording, while the meme coins only make $4.8 billion. So that's only 2% of its market cap. Solana is even crazier. So Solana is a $44.2 billion market cap right now, and it has meme coins altogether. The total market cap is 2.93, which is roughly around 6.63% of its total market cap. So when you look at Bitcoin meme coins, aka rune tokens, only 0.01%. Just imagine if this is 0.5. I mean, this is going to grow substantially into the billions of dollars. And that's because Bitcoin's market cap is $1.29 trillion only at the time of this recording. Remember, Bitcoin right now is roughly around $64,000 or $63,000. And Bitcoin met a new all-time high at 126. So this will no longer be 1.29. It will be 2 trillion and higher. So when Bitcoin's market cap grows bigger, that means the native rune tokens, the native fungible tokens on Bitcoin grow with it. That's just how it works every single time. Whenever there's new technology, there's also new liquidity. And that's what's awesome about this. So as I mentioned before, we've been trading sideways for the past 61 days now. 61 is quite a long time. What I love about this 200-day moving average line, which is this green line, not only is it curving down, but it looks like it wants to descend further and further. If you need to really start to pay attention to this, right? Once this 200-day moving average starts to cross downwards, it could be very positive. Now, I do want to keep in mind, does this guarantee that dog's going to go up? It's not exactly. I mean, let's look at SPX 6900. SPX 6900 saw a golden cross. So if you look over here, SPX 6900 actually saw a death cross right around here, November 1st of 2025. And then you saw that SPX 6900 price was going down. So even though you see SPX 6900 seeing a golden cross, SPX 6900 still went down in price. Interesting, right? So there's no guarantee that dog's price will go up once there is a golden cross, but we do want confirmation that with this golden cross happening, with the 50-day crossing with the 200-day moving average, that there is a reversal in sentiment, meaning bulls and buyers are back in control. It doesn't matter if the dog price goes down or up. We just want to see a cross, a golden cross, to show us that there's reverse in sentiment, because we've been way oversold for way too long, ever since September 8th of 2025, right? So this has got to end at some certain point. And I think right now we're looking for that next reversal up, and it could happen at any moment in time. Now, this is one of the highlights of the video, which is basically talking about Coinbase. So I made a post recently talking about market makers. So basically, if you see this post, I'm just going to dumb it down for you. Now, what I can tell you is that I have had conversations with a person from the Coinbase team. I'm not going to tell you who, because I don't want anybody rating this person or bothering this person. Maybe you may know who this person is just by me talking about them. But I don't want you reaching out to them and just like DMing them and just like funneling them with a whole bunch of like, you know, give us a dog spot listing. That's not how it works. So what we need right now is market makers to volunteer and support and provide liquidity for a dog spot listing. Now, it may be easier said than done, because market makers typically want to cut. So right now we're looking for market makers that aren't being greedy. They want to support the free and fair fundamentals, just like Kraken, right? Kraken was one of the very few exchanges that decided to list dog for free. So there is a market maker out there somewhere in the world that will do something like that, that will be similar to Kraken, where they support the integrity, the fundamentals of free and fair. And that's what we want. We want market makers to support a dog spot listing on Coinbase. Then the conversation about implementing Rune's infrastructure happens next. But we can't have that conversation until we have a market maker that's willing to provide liquidity for a dog spot listing on Coinbase. Now, what is a market maker? You need to understand this. Not everybody can be a market maker. So if you're saying, hey, I'm a person that's willing to volunteer and offer you dog funds to provide liquidity, that's not how it works. You're not a market maker. You are basically an investor. Market makers usually help the price of things go up and down. So if the market goes down, market makers are a part of that. When the market goes back up, market makers are a part of that. They help provide liquidity to amplify dog's message and also to take profits if dog goes down. You saw what happened on October 10th during the 10/10 flash crash. Market makers got completely liquidated. And why market makers are important for exchanges is because market makers end up providing all that liquidity during really tough times or times in demand. And another question you may be asking yourself is, why doesn't Coinbase supply a market maker? Well, that's a great question. And I think to answer that is, there needs to be more demand for dog. In order for that to happen, Coinbase would absolutely want to list dog for spot trading. But guess what? There are other tokens that they're not listing as well that have a lot of trading volume right now, such as Ansom's Memecoin, right? Ansom's Memecoin is, gaining a lot of traction. They even interviewed Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, but they still don't have a spot listing. But again, it's a Solana token. Anything can happen. But this is a new token on Bitcoin. It's on the Runes protocol. So we need to have that market maker, whoever it may be. If you can suggest somebody, that'd be great. Just have them reach out to me. And then I'll obviously connect them to whoever's necessary to get this spearheaded and going. But I thought this was really important to share this with all of you guys and girls because, again, I'm a volunteer. I'm no team member. I'm just here to try to do my best to see how we can get dog on Coinbase. Literally, I want them to list the dog on the Bitcoin base layer, not some Solana wrap token, right? And that pretty much sums it up. So to kind of end this, all you really need to know is that we need a market maker for a dog spot listing to provide liquidity for free, meaning we do not pay market makers to provide that liquidity. They have to do it for themselves. They need to support the free and fair fundamentals just like Kraken did. Then after those conversations are done and they're willing to provide that liquidity, then the talks of having a Runes infrastructure implemented within Coinbase begins. And this isn't just beneficial for dog. This is beneficial for all Bitcoin meme coins, Mim, Pups, Billion Dollar Cat, you name it. This is all beneficial to them. Okay, with that said, I hope you've really enjoyed this video. I surely have. I just want to give you an update of what we need on your side as a dog community. So if you can make any suggestions, please tag any market makers. Let me know if these people are interested. We need to get some provide liquidity and supply for this dog spot listing. It would be a huge game changer. Remember, this is just the first stage, okay? And this is always very positive. I actually really appreciate the Coinbase team actually having communication. If you're wondering if the blue carpet program was worth it, yeah, it was. That's why we're here having these conversations. And yes, it's taken a lot longer than expected, but remember what I share with you, Runes protocol and Runes in general are contributing to over 70% of the Bitcoin transactions on the Bitcoin network. 7 out of 10 transactions are Runes. So that's why Runes are now catching headlines and why people are now talking about Runes again. But now it's much bigger. It's reaching headlines across the Bitcoin maxi world, Bitcoin OGs, Bitcoin news, Bitcoin gossip, you name it. And this is why dog is at the forefront of this. So I hope that you really appreciate this video. So with that said, I want to thank all of our donors for supporting this channel. I just really appreciate you guys and girls for supporting this channel so much, and I cannot wait to make more of these videos. So let's go ahead and support the channel by smashing that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.